My brain has been exposed to gut-wrenching stories, mind-bending stories, shows with incredibly unique concepts,
You're very strong.
betrayal, redemption. And while these stories have no doubt given me a great deal of entertainment and joy never seen before, there is one story that surprised even me, and that is Komi Can't Communicate. Ladies and gamblers, the power of a wholesome story is way stronger than I had initially anticipated.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Komi Can't Communicate is a slice of life anime, part comedy.
All right, the next student to read will be Komi. Of course you're right. Reading textbooks aloud is absolutely pointless. All of you, read in silence!
She was just too nervous to read.
Part romance.
Oh, Sana,
Yeah?
I've got a favor to ask.
For sure! I'll do anything for my close friend Tadano. Do you want me to satisfy your sexual
Quit that!
appetite
Komi can
with my
hear you!
body?
We follow the main character known as Hito Tadano. And while everyone in this universe considers him to be average, he happens to be very good with communication skills. So good that it's like he can read Komi's mind. He ends up being Komi's first friend, as she is on a path to make 100 friends before she graduates from high school. Now, the thing about me, before I watched this show, I had a certain bias that slice of life anime would never make me feel as strongly as the more serious shows that I've watched.
ベルトルト、ライダー
ベルトルト。
なあ、ベルトルさん。
ベルトルト。ベルトルト。
ああ、ベルトルト。ベルトルト。ベルトルトが。ベルトルトは。
There were little signals in my brain that craved for this kind of content, but I wasn't sure if I'd really enjoy committing to it. I even remember the romantic aspects about Doki Doki Literature Club. Yes, the feeding Yuri chocolate, the baking with Natsuki, and everything with Sayori, before he kind of left her hanging. I was in severe need of this type of content. I was malnourished. But one major show that really told me that I'd be into slice of life was Spy X Family, particularly the wholesome father-daughter and mother-daughter bonding.
I need it!
And even the romantic sprinkles between the fake forager couples. And I immediately asked myself, Prosaic, are you into romance? No, but you can't be. You're a philosopher. You're a cold-hearted gambler. You support Manchester United. You're a masochist. So if I had a bias for these types of shows, despite secretly enjoying them, what made me budge for Komi? Well, it kind of happened by accident. You see, I was doom scrolling through TikTok a while ago, and I happened to see a clip of Komi Can't Communicate. I don't really remember what it was about, but the concept of the show was screaming towards the signals in my brain that were starving for slice of life content. I had bombarded my brain with so much death and destruction, and I was kind of in a dry spell in anime where I didn't have the motivation to watch anything. So watching that TikTok clip, I decided to go into the comments to see what anime this was, and alas, one comment eventually answered, Komi Can't Communicate. Immediately, the high and mighty side of my brain assumed that this was something that I really wouldn't get into. But the little parts of my brain that was starving for this content was like, no, we need this shit and we need it now.
We can be bees. This isn't your world, but we can be bees. This is good news. You can be a bee. You'll live like a bee. A pet.
A pet?
A pet.
So you know what? I was like, screw it. Let's try it. And boy, I got hooked from the episode 1. And I experienced a level of binging that I hadn't received in a very long time. So I'm not going to recap the entire story. If you clicked on this video, I assume you have some sort of idea of what kind of show this is. But I want to highlight the things that I really loved about Komi Can't Communicate. Before I continue, this girl sucks. I mean, she's super funny at times, but she sucks, especially in the anime. They at least tone her down a little bit in the manga, but
Who do you think you are, addressing the Supremo by her name like that? You call her Lady Komi, you loser. Don't get carried away just because you're sitting next to her, you scum. Be grateful that you're allowed to breathe the same air as her when you're just scum.
anyways, the narrator has this blunt comedic effect about her that I really dig. It just makes scenes funnier than they are.
I like hip-hop, rockabilly, dubstepping, neo-Tibetan spelling words.
She's getting overloaded.
And that did help me when reading the manga later because I just imagined her voice narrating. This show can be extremely funny, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to walk into a lot of funny moments, but while comedy is good and all, what hooked me more is the relationships. Not just the couples, but the friendships formed as well. I mean, even Ramai, I think that's how you say her name, had a very enjoyable and interesting dynamic with this band girl otaku gamer called Nakanaka. It's the way the people in here interact with one another. It's vulnerable, but in a light-hearted way. A way that can feel exaggerated at times, but it still hits strong all the same way. Of course, Tadano and Komi are gonna have the majority of the spotlight here. My favorite moments of these two are mostly in the manga, but I'll talk about the ones I remember in the first 2 seasons. I mean, the only 2 seasons.
Ares, destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
It was when Tadano became sick, and her family went out, so he was left home alone. He meant to text Najimi, but ended up texting Komi somehow. And Komi, who at this point is still very much struggling with communication, goes to Tadano's house to take care of him. She cooks him a meal, feeds him, and is just there as support, you know. It's such a significant thing, even if it feels small, because we, the audience, know about Komi. We know how hard it is for her to open up to people like this, to communicate. So seeing her take such a leap forward like this, we cheer for her like she's our daughter or little sister. You know, the show has a way of making you feel like you know these characters. You gain a certain guardianship over them. Like they could be your friends or relatives. You feel like a certain kind of protectiveness over them. Like during Valentine's Day, I think it was the 2nd year of Valentine's, or was it the 1st? I don't remember, I haven't watched the show in a long time. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong while editing. The girls were all giving away chocolate to their friends, crushes and whatnot. And we, the viewers, expect Komi to give some to Tadano. They've been friends a long time now, they're close, you know. But Komi gives chocolate to everyone but Tadano, and I actually felt really sad for the guy. You know, it was a really awkward moment, and unfortunately, we the viewers get a glimpse of the thought process between the two and what they're thinking versus how they're perceiving each other. Eventually, Komi does give Tadano the Valentine chocolates, and obviously they are edging us with how this relationship goes. But case in point, the strongest superpower about this story are the characters, obviously. I watch and read this because the author has made me care deeply about these characters, especially in the manga. There's 2 characters I'm a huge fan of, which is Manbangi and Isagi. Such wonderful characters. I'd really love to see these guys animated and voiced. So naturally, I binged the hell out of it and was met with grave disappointment when I realized there was no season 3. Was the binging meaningless? Were the hours I wasted meaningless?
They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen. Their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them!
I loved the story way too much to abandon it. I admit, I was not much of a manga reader before this, and I was skeptical if I'd ever be able to read one fully. But I got the entire manga, all 499 chapters, and I was addicted. I was reading at least 3 volumes a day. I don't know if that's a lot or a little. And the story got even better. Komi Can't Communicate changed my perspective on storytelling. That there doesn't always need to be a grand scheme or a philosophical existential crisis discussion. That a story about a young lady trying to make 100 friends before graduation can be just as impactful, if not more, than a story about giant 15 meters titans trying to kill each other. Let's go. And if you have a subtle itch in your brain that is craving for a new kind of story that you were skeptical you'd enjoy, I say give it a try. You never know when you'll strike gold.
The man before you is as sober as the day he was born.
You are still drinking.
This is goat's milk.
It is brown.
It was an ugly goat.